VB.NET Interview Questions and Answers. Beginner means advanced. Introduction. VB.NET. VisualBasic.NET is an object-oriented programming language developed by Microsoft as part of the .NET framework. VB.NET is widely used in desktop applications, enterprise systems, Windows applications, database applications, automation tools. VB.NET supports: check, object-oriented programming, event-driven programming, database integration, GUI development, web applications. 1 to 20. VB.NET Basics. What is VB.NET? VB.NET is an object-oriented programming language built on the .NET framework. What is .NET framework? Platform for building and running applications. Who developed VB.NET? Microsoft. Features of VB.NET: object-oriented, event-driven, type-safe, garbage collection. What is CLR? Common Language Runtime. Executes .NET applications. Common Type System defines data types for .NET languages. What is CLS? Common Language Specification ensures language interoperability. What is assembly in .NET? Compiled unit containing application code. What is namespace? Logical grouping of classes. What is class? Blueprint for objects. What is object? Instance of class. What is inheritance? Acquiring properties from parent class. Multiple forms of same method. What is encapsulation? Hiding internal implementation details. What is abstraction? Showing essential features only. What is constructor? Special method initializing object. Example constructor: public sub new, console.writeLine, created, end sub. What is method in VB.NET? Block of reusable code.
Basic VB.NET program.
Module program, sub main, console writeLine, hello world, end sub, end module. What is variable? Named memory location. 21 to 40. Data types, arrays and functions. Integer, string, Boolean, double, decimal. What is string? Sequence of characters. What is array? Collection of same type elements. Array example: dim nums as integer equals 1, 2, 3. What is multidimensional array? Dim matrix 2, 2 as integer. What is function? Method returning value. Function example: function add a as integer, b as integer, as integer. Return a plus b. End function. Method without return value. Function versus sub. Function returns value, sub does not. What is optional parameter? Subtest optional age as integer equals 10. What is bival? Passes copy of variable. Passes reference of variable. What is recursion? Function calling itself. What is loop? Repeating block of code. Types of loops? Check. For, while, do while, for each. What is conditional statement? If, else, select case. What is select case? Multiple condition decision structure. What is exception handling? Handling runtime errors. Try, catch example: try dim x equals 10 divided by 0. Catch ex as exception. Console writeLine, ex message. End try. What is finally block? Executes regardless of exception. 41 to 70. OOP, collections and database. Contract defining methods. What is abstract class? Class that cannot be instantiated. What is overloading? Multiple methods with same name. What is overriding? Replacing parent class method. What is shared keyword? Static member shared across objects. What is property in VB.NET? Controlled access to fields. Property example: public property name as string. What is collection? Common collections in VB.NET. List, dictionary, queue, stack. What is list? Dim items as new list of string. What is dictionary? Key value pair collection. What is generic collection? What is LINQ? Query language for collections and databases. LINQ example: dim result equals nums.where function x greater than 5. What is ADO.NET? Database access framework. What is SQL connection? Database connection object. What is SQL command? Executes SQL queries. What is dataset? In-memory database representation. What is data reader? Fast-forward-only data reader. Information required to connect database. What is parameterized query? Query preventing SQL injection. Parameterized query example. cmd.parameters.addWithValue. @ID 1. GUI framework for desktop applications. What is event-driven programming? Code executes based on events. Common events in VB.NET. Click, load, keypress. What is ASP.NET? Framework for web applications. What is session state? Stores user-specific data. What is view state? Maintains page values in ASP.NET. What is garbage collection? Automatic memory cleanup. What is iDisposable? Interface for releasing resources. 71 to 100. Advanced VB.NET and .NET concepts. What is multithreading? Running multiple threads concurrently. Thread example. dim t as new thread. Address of my task. What is async programming? Non-blocking asynchronous execution. Async example. Async function test as task. What is task in .NET? Represents asynchronous operation. What is lambda expression? Function x times 2. Reference to method. What is event handler? Method responding to events. What is serialization? Converting object into storable format. What is JSON serialization? Converting objects into JSON. What is XML? Structured markup language. What is dependency injection? Providing dependencies externally. What is NuGet? Package manager for .NET. What is DLL? Dynamic link library. Inspecting metadata at runtime. What is entity framework? ORM framework for .NET. What is LRM? Object relational mapping. What is MVC architecture? Model view controller design pattern. What is REST API? Web service using HTTP methods. HTTP methods in APIs? Get, post, put, delete. What is authentication? Verifying user identity. What is authorization? Granting access permissions. Testing individual components. What is debugging? Finding and fixing issues. Common VB.NET interview topics. OOP, collections, ADO.NET, exception handling, Windows Forms, LINQ, best practices in VB.NET, proper naming, exception handling, reusable code, layered architecture. How to improve VB.NET performance? Optimize queries, use async operations, reduce memory usage. How to become strong in VB.NET? Awk, practice OOP, pay, build projects, learn ADO.NET. Understand .NET internals. Biggest VB.NET interview concept? Object-oriented programming and .NET fundamentals. Key VB.NET interview focus? OOP, database connectivity, and application development. VB.NET interviews focus on: check, object-oriented programming, .NET framework concepts, collections and LINQ, database connectivity, exception handling, Windows Forms, and ASP.NET. Asynchronous programming, application architecture. Key idea: strong VB.NET developers understand .NET fundamentals, OOP concepts, and enterprise application development.